I'm trying to get my first deal. So I'm just this was a it just came out of nowhere yesterday evening. I was at my daughter's basketball game. I'm like, man, I gotta get to work right here, right now. See what's going on. I gotta reach out to somebody. And I said, man, you know what? John, he gives a lot of different options
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
clothing. So I said, let me reach out to him, see if he can
Yeah. Okay.
help me
So,
with this.
all right. They're asking 350. Do
Hmm.
they own it free and clear then, or is there a mortgage on it? Do you know?
I believe they own it free and clear, but I can get that. I can text her right now and ask her.
Well, so there's a couple things before you text her here
Okay.
to be able to look at the entire picture without just
Hmm.
right now going in at 350. She
Hmm.
she's at the top of the market. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're meeting with her, you really need to talk to her and say, okay, look, you're asking 350, but I'm just so what we do. Let me share my screen with you real quick. So this area right here this is a calculator we put together, and
Hmm.
you can literally go online and get this. It's free.
Okay.
Okay. This will calculate cash flow. So if you're looking at taking the property down and you
Hmm.
buying it, then this is the calculator you use to find out if it actually cash flows. If it cash
Okay.
flows, great. If it doesn't, then we're going to go over to what we call novations. Okay. Of course, you're
Hmm.
working
Hmm.
already. So, that probably wouldn't work, but we can run through it and see what it is. So,
Okay.
um, are you licensed?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm not licensed. I'm actually. That's part of my goal. Once I close the deal, I plan on just getting my license.
For what?
I just felt like a part of me felt like I wanted to have my license so that I can. I just felt like I would have more opportunity. Just being honest.
Okay.
That's just my personal
Yeah, there's
opinion.
pros and cons to it. It depends on what you want to do and what your long term goal is of what
Hmm.
you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
That obviously you get your license, you can use it as a realtor, you can, use
Hmm.
MLS, that kind of stuff. If you're wanting to
Hmm.
build a portfolio and so forth, it's really not going to work with you that much. If you're
Okay.
going to do a lot of creative stuff, it can't kind of actually hinder you. Okay.
Okay.
Simply
Gotcha.
because now you have to go by what the real estate board says, and you
Hmm.
got to run that fine line, being an
Okay.
investor to being a realtor, and you have a fiduciary position when you're
Mhm.
talking to buyers and sellers that I don't. Okay,
Right.
because you'd be a licensed agent, so that's why.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so really
Okay.
figure out where you want your path to go. I am not licensed
Yeah.
simply
Mhm.
because I don't want to have to jump back and forth to find out if I have to do it on a realtor side or do it on an investor side, and that kind of stuff. So I don't mess with that. Um,
I appreciate this
so it really
information.
depends
Just
on what you
because
want.
I've been half and half like creamer with it. Like just because I feel like um I guess in all sense, I guess I feel like once I get my first deal, then I can take that money and invest it. I do currently do I'm a nursing assistant, so I work overnights. But I feel like all my money is just tied up in my bills and I don't have the opportunity to have that extra money to get my investments. But I feel like if something happens for me, such as like if I close a deal, then I can free up and adjust some things where I can go ahead and invest that money because I want to invest. And I do want to have a smaller portfolio, not as long as yours, but I do want to have a small portfolio just because I'm a mother
Sure.
and I want to provide things and build
Yeah.
a business where I can bring my children in and they can just work for the business as well, be part of it.
Yeah. And having that mailbox money, especially with kids, not having to worry about
Hmm.
most because that money's coming in whether you're working or not. That's the
Yep.
advantage. So let's go back to this deal
Mhm.
here. So,
Okay.
what are you thinking about? Is this one thinking about taking down and buying for
Uh,
you? Are you trying to just flip it to make some money as a wholesaler?
yes,
What's your thought pattern on this?
I would like to flip it as a wholesaler.
Okay. So,
Uh,
first of all, if you're going to flip it as a wholesaler, if they're asking
mhm.
350, they're not even close.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
know
let
technically
me
it would be down.
what's
Mhm.
that?
I said technically they'll be down by 250. I
Uh,
mean, that's what
yeah,
roughly what.
I mean, well, here, let's just, so this calculator does this for creative stuff and buy and hold. This
Okay.
calculator over here is for novations. You know what a novation is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then this calculator down here is for wholesale.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just, if you're thinking of wholesale, and let's just run it through these numbers. I don't do much wholesaling. I do novation.
Okay.
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 So let's run it through a novation first.
Okay.
So first of all, we know this. I can already tell you it's not going to work as a buy and hold.
Okay.
As if I go in and let me just pull an actual number here real quick. So you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Rents. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. Zillow rents are saying it's 1947.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just pull rental meter real quick. So using this guy, I don't need to fill any of this in. This is just information. I'm going
Okay.
to look at rents. This 12% is if you were bringing in private money. So all of my people use 12% because I have private money anywhere from 8% to 12%. So we use 12%. Plus, it's an easy number. If you're borrowing $40,000, the payment's $400. So it's very simple math. Okay.
Gotcha.
PITI, we don't know what that is. Okay, so I'm going to use just 5% on a 30-year. So that puts a mortgage, just principal and interest, of about 1653. With that, so 1653, I'm going to add oops, come on, John. 1653. I'm going to add $250 for taxes and insurance. So I'm going to estimate just for practical purposes, so I can show you what this thing does. I'm going to say their PITI is going to be 1903. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
With that, it's going to cost me probably $2,000 to close it. Okay. I use $5,000 with my team because that's going to be closing costs. Plus, that's how I'm going to pay their commissions to them using loan to money.
Okay.
In this situation, I'm just going to use 2,000 of those real numbers. With this deal, and it has nothing to do with this number here, just looking at the rents in the area and approximate PITI, you have a negative cash flow, or you have a positive cash flow of $24.
Wow.
It's not a deal.
Which is not going to work.
Okay?
Right.
I already knew that, knowing that you're in Mesa, $350,000 house in Mesa is not going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this would be like a creative wrap scenario.
Okay.
It could be a seller finance scenario, that kind of thing. You just know that PITI payment has to get a lot less. So right there, my guys would know that we have to go straight to a novation. So let's go over here to a novation calculator.
Okay.
And on the novation calculator, they order food in-house.
Wow, negatives.
So with this, I'm sorry, I got people getting food for me because I can't even get out of the office today. So let's say that right here, I use the big four. So this is what the big four: Zillow, Redfin, REI is just PropStream, RPR is a nationwide MLS.
Okay.
So with this, it's giving me an average of 359. I want a very fast sale on a novation. So I'm going to into here, and typically I'd walk over to my dispo department and say, hey, what do you think you guys can sell this for on a very fast sale? They're going to come in, and if it's at 359, they're going to come in and hit me super low. So let's just say we can get it at 340. Okay, that's what I can sell it for. Okay. In this calculator, what I'm looking for at this number is what can I buy it for?
Gotcha.
Down here, I want a profit of, we want $30,000. So let's just use a number here, and let's just say if we put in 300,000, that isn't even going to work. Okay.
Gotcha.
Because if you look down through here, we're going to pay commissions because we're going to have to relist it on with a realtor if we're using the novation. Okay. So we're going to pay the 3 and 3 listing broker and selling broker. 3% concession in here because we truly work what we call a retail buyer program, where we will help the seller with closing costs, maybe if they need it to make a deal. So right there, that 10,000 is kind of a slush fund. Okay. Then you go down here. We are going to have closing costs because we're the seller, okay, in innovation. So we will have some closing costs. We may have some repairs if the buyer has an FHA loan or a VA loan, and we have to do a little bit of a repair work on the property. We do it,
Okay.
not the seller. So this is all kind of a slush fund. Well, in
Okay.
this particular situation, I'm only going to make $2,000. It's not worth it. So I need to jack this thing down even lower. So we need to be down to 200. So let's try 280.
Okay.
At 280, I make 22. Still not good enough. Okay, I'll try 7. Now I'm making 32,000. Okay, I'm happy with that. So
Okay.
just that fast, I was able to analyze that property once I kind of figured out what I could sell it for on the open market.
Gotcha.
Okay? So that means I have to go in and offer them $270,000 or thereabouts. That's leaving $20,000 for realtors, your concessions, closing fee you'll have to pay, and 5,000. And I'm going to make 32 if I get these numbers to work. Okay, quick and easy. Okay, they're doing this while they're on the phone with the seller.
Okay.
Now, with this, that 32 may turn into maybe 45. The reason why is this is a slush fund. This is a slush fund. You got $15,000 there that might be added to that.
Okay.
So you might easily end up about a $47,000 deal.
Wow.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So we try to aim at 30 here. And if you don't spend any of this, then at that point, our commission goes up. If we do have to spend any of it, oh, bummer. We know we made 32.
Yeah.
Let's say we list it for 340. We have to get in negotiation. And shit, we sold it for 330. I still paid 23,000, but I didn't pay any concessions, so I'm still over my 30 mark.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it gives us plenty of room to play. Okay. So that's why we use that. So that's a quick analyzation that 350 doesn't work.
Okay, which is understandable.
When you meet with them, you've got what year was this built? Got to be old.
Look, I think
Built in 68.
Okay.
So you have an 1868 house that you can see from the street view has had no renovations on the outside. It needs work, and they're wanting 350. That's retail value for a 2024 build.
Yeah.
Redone or a flip that's been totally redone. It's got brand new paint, brand new carpet or flooring, countertops, granite, all this kind of stuff. I'll guarantee this house does not have that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some pictures tomorrow.
Pictures. So that just tells you right there, there's no way they can get 350,000. What you have to talk to them about is if you're wanting full retail value, you have to be at 2024 standards.
Yeah.
1968. Even if you had a fire, where are the standards? How many years ago was the fire? 5, 10.
Right.
You know, what's today's standard? It's different than even yesterday's. Okay? So that's your selling factor to start letting them whittle down the price. Now, are you meeting with the seller or are you meeting with the realtor?
The realtor.
Okay. So you can go and talk. So there you can be a little bit more frank. So you're talking to the realtor going, you know what? This needs to, as a realtor, give me your professional opinion. What would you do to this house to bring it up to standards? And let her start going through everything. What she's going to do is reverse psychology. Now she's hammering down the pricing. Now, is that the listing agent that you're meeting with?
Well,
it's off market.
Yeah, it's off market.
Okay, so it's his client. It's their client.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it's her partner's client.
Okay, close enough.
It's her partner's client. Yeah.
Okay, close enough. So basically, what you're trying to do is, if this partner is trying to get 350,000, she's whacked in the head or he's whacked in the head.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. It's not retail ready. Okay?
Right.
So it's possibly wholesale ready. Without knowing what needs to go into it. Now let me step you one step further. So we can do this, and you could pay 270 and potentially make 31,000 or 32,000 or more on a novation. How would you do it? You'd use a wholesale contract.
Okay.
You'd write up for 270,000. Then you get a realtor, the person you're talking to. Okay? to list it for you. They're going to get one side of this, and they're already getting the other side from the seller. So the seller's going to pay them, 3% of the 270 already.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're going to get the other side of it because they're going to sell it for you. And they
Okay.
may come in with a buyer. They may get all three sides.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So you use the same realtors perfectly fine. You go list it and see what happens. Now, at the same time, let's go on a wholesale basis. This is our
Okay.
wholesale calculator. You can see that all these numbers up here drop right down here and give you the same thing. That's your average price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, this particular one, the square footage is 1368.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this is probably going to need more rehab than you think. So
Yep.
let's put in here maybe $15 a square foot. That's $20,000 rehab.
Okay.
That's not a very big rehab.
No, that's not too big.
Okay. If it needs flooring and it needs paint, maybe
That's
countertops, that's probably not even going to pay for it.
okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But let's just play with it. Let's say that they got a remodeled kitchen and bathrooms are remodeled up to standard, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Okay.
it's a $20,000 rehab. So then the way
Mm-hmm.
the calculator works is if do you know the wholesale formula you use to buy property?
Yeah, I do the 70% or sometimes 68 if it's
Okay.
workable. I
Okay.
try to go for the 68, but if I have to push up to 70,
Okay.
then I
So
know that's
minus
kind of
repairs,
minus the repairs and
minus the commission you want to make.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So the way this calculator works, let's just use 70%.
Okay.
If so, this 70% equates to
Mm-hmm.
this number, but it's 70% of this minus the 20 equals this. I
Okay.
do not have your commissions in here yet
Mm-hmm.
because now we got to go over and take a look at our flipper.
Okay.
If the flipper buys it and he sells it and you sell it to him at 70% of this,
Mm-hmm.
not including the repairs, then his profit is going to be $58,000. Well, that's a pretty hefty profit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right here, let's just run with this. So I go one step further. Your
Okay.
flippers usually want to make a net profit of 20%.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you got to be at least 30%. But we already have that figured in because I have their commissions in here and I also
Mm-hmm.
have their closing costs in here. The only thing I
Okay.
don't have in here is their holding costs for their hard money if they use hard money. So I don't calculate that. So
Okay.
after their realtor's fees and closing fees,
Mm-hmm.
minus $20,000 worth of repair they're going to put in it, they stand to make $58,000.
Okay.
Flipper would probably do that. Okay. But that means you got to buy it at $231,000 and you potentially will make $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So if
Gotcha.
you look at this, you're buying it at 231 on Novation, you're buying it for 270 and making
Mm-hmm.
32,000, potentially 47,000. We're down
Okay.
here, you got to talk the seller into at 230 and you only make $20,000.
Okay.
See the
Gotcha.
difference?
Yeah.
You make a lot more money on a Novation
Wow.
here
Wow.
than you do down here, and you have to drop it another $39,000 to the seller.
Okay.
Okay.
So when it comes to innovation, how is the approach to like how would I approach the realtor regarding that or
Well, that's a little difficult because you're dealing with realtors.
okay.
Realtors are gatekeepers.
Understand.
Okay. You really need to start working direct to seller. Get rid
Okay.
of realtors. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We actually did a whole marketing thing. We had a team of guys come in here that was running
Mm-hmm.
a company working strictly with realtors. We actually bought 2 or 3 properties from them. They came in
Mm-hmm.
and proposed a marketing ploy with us that if they could partner with us, they would find the leads, feed us leads, take a portion of the profits after we sold them and actually assign the properties because most of them are wholesale
Okay.
stuff. We went, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, we'll do it. So we did it for about 65 days with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got 0 deals because you have a gatekeeper and the gatekeeper's realtors. All they were doing
Yeah.
realtors on listings that the realtors had, but
Mm-hmm.
the realtors would never take the offers to the sellers that we were proposing to them
That's
because
personally
most of
go
them
ahead, sorry.
most of them are creative deals, or but you
Mhm.
can't do novations when it's already been listed. It doesn't make sense to because it's already on the market. Okay,
Yeah.
so off market deals work with the creative, the wraps, the seller finance, private money cash. They
Mhm.
work with novations, but if it's already on the market, it's typically not going to work as a novation. And very
Right.
seldom on market properties ever work as a wholesale because that
Mhm.
realtor asking $350,000. Okay.
Right, for something that's not even
Yeah, you need
market
to be about
value.
30, $120,000 less than what that realtor wants to bring it to the market for.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That realtor is going to laugh in your face and tell you get lost and never going to take that offer to the seller. You'll never get there, even though they're
Yeah.
obligated to. They'll never take
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say, and that's what's so crazy
Yep, they
because
won't
that's
do it.
their job to do it. Like,
Yep, and
whether
they're
they
legally bound to, but they don't do it. Okay,
Mhm.
so this deal here, the
Mhm.
only saving grace would be the novation,
Okay.
and what you're going. Do you have? Is this a realtor you know very well, or just somebody who came
I
out of the?
don't I've never did business with her.
Okay,
It's she must be someone that I reached out to because she randomly I haven't heard from her in a while, and she just randomly texted me and asked me if I was interested, if I'm
got
still looking for a property, and I said,
it. Okay,
"Yeah, I am."
okay,
And she just, presented the opportunity, so
okay. So this one's going
Mhm.
to be a tough one,
Okay.
in that a realtor's already involved in it,
Okay. Got
simply
you.
because they're going to want to try and get 350,000 for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All you can do is really go in and say, you know what? After running my numbers, after looking at it, here's where we're
Mhm.
at. I'm more like 270. Okay.
Okay.
You got to
Mhm.
remember, you're trying to sell this thing for 340. How much work does it really need? And if it
Yeah.
needs a lot more work than what we're talking about, you're going to have to bring that sales price down because
Yeah.
whoever buys it, they don't want to be at this retail price of 359. They want to
Mm-mm.
be down here. So if they have to put $20,000 in it, now you got to give them, $20,000 off, which means you need to
Mhm.
take not only that makes you 14,000. So that means you need to be down here about 150ish to get back up to
Yeah.
your 30,000. Okay.
Right.
So,
Got you.
you can come in at an offer
Okay.
price at two, and I would come up, never use round numbers, always use a
Mhm.
weird number. I come in at, I'm at 251,974. That's
Okay.
where my price is. And see what she says. She's going to tell you get lost because they're at 350.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
$100,000 less. Thank you, sir. They're
Mhm. Okay.
$100,000 less. So you probably don't have a deal here. Okay.
Okay, got you.
And honestly, you're wasting
Mhm.
your time. You can try it, but you're wasting your time.
Okay.
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 Nothing wrong with going through it and learning.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have a deal as far as wholesale. Now you're down at
Mhm.
31.
Got you.
Okay. It just doesn't work. If
Got
you want
you.
to make 20. Now, you can change that up. You can, maybe you only want to make 10 on it. But
Mhm.
that's just by changing this. That just means that you're going to come up and you are going to, let's just take it there. Nope. If you pay it by 75, now you're only at $2,500 profit. So that doesn't work. You can change
Mhm.
that to 3. There's a $10,000 profit. And then you can change this up too. That's a lot. If
Mhm.
you change this up, maybe you sell it to them at 65. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry.
Mhm.
So now he's making a $20,000 profit. Now you're at 45,000. See how the numbers
Okay.
change depending on what
Yeah.
you sell it out for? You really
Got
got to
you.
watch this number of what they're going to make on it. And
Okay.
so now $20,000 isn't going to be enough
Okay.
because typically on a
Mhm.
$350,000 retail house times 20%, they're going to want to make $70,000.
Okay. Got you.
So this has to go back up a long ways for him to make the money he wants to make. When we were at 70%,
Mhm.
we were closer at 58. Okay. But
Okay.
now you're down here because it's usually around 20% that they want to make off of this price here.
Okay. Got you.
Okay. So just round numbers, 350 at 20, that's $70,000. And we're not even there. We're not even at 60.
Okay. Got you.
So that means you're going to have to buy this even deeper to get him more money or sell it to him.
Okay.
money. Okay.
to get him closer to the 70, which he's expecting, kind of.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's just how the calculator works. Like I say, that's on
Mhm.
johnberger.com.
Okay.
That's free. You can go on there and grab that and use it.